So this video is about desmogging the KTM 350 exc-f. This is a 2018, and from what I understand, the Husky FE 350 is pretty much the same thing. The first thing you got to do is take off the seat, take off the tank, take off the side panels. You have to take out the shock, which is actually really easy. You have to take off the shock to get the exhaust off. So I didn't film all those parts, but they're really easy. And if you can't do that, then you probably don't want to be doing the upgrade yourself. So, yeah. So a lot of the hoses that we're going to be pulling out of this thing all connect up to this little evap type valve. The first thing we're going to do is pull this vacuum line off. Once we get the line off, I put a little bit of WD-40 on this little brass valve that we're trying to get out. There's some thread lock on the little brass fitting, and I thought the WD-40 might help soften it up a little bit. When you're backing it out, you have to apply some pressure to it because of the thread lock stuff. I backed it out a little bit, turned it back in a little bit, backed it out, and eventually got it out without an issue. Once it's hot, clean up the excess stuff off of it and make sure that your bolt that you're going to plug it with can go in nice and smooth. I put a little bit of RTV silicone on the bolt threads just to make sure that there's no vacuum leaks. Okay, we're going to go over to the other side and follow that hose that we just pulled off, which goes down to this evap block right here, and we're going to pull that out. Now we're going to go back to that evap block and pull the electrical connection off of it. So I looked it up, and the thing that this connector connects to is called the canister solenoid valve. So part of this whole desmog project is to get rid of these pieces, and the other part is to open up the breathing of the bike. So there's going to be a lot more airflow going through, and you need to increase the fuel to match, or else you're going to be running really lean. So to increase the fuel flow, you have a couple of choices. You can plug up this little connector with a resistor. They also sell, I think Slavens sells a little dongle kit that you just plug in there. You do that, and there's a modification called the TPS modification, where you screw with the throttle position sensor, and it allows more fuel to go into the system. Your other option is to replace your ECU. You can get a Dynajet power commander, a Vortex, or I ended up getting the GET RX1 Pro for mine, and I left that connector open. Well, actually, I put a little plastic bag over it and tucked it away. And once I put the new ECU on, I don't get any error codes, so I just left it like that. Regardless, you'll still have to make a choice and pick one of those three ways to get some more fuel into your engine. So we're going to follow this next hose up from the valve thing up to the charcoal canister, which actually is inside the frame. and the connectors right in front of the radiator. Alright, pull that guy down there. That wraps around the clutch tube, hose, whatever. So we got these two hoses on fire, and I was able to pry this out. There it is. Magic. Alright, to get this whole thing off that we were just talking about, you have to take off 2 bolts by the exhaust manifold. And it's like impossible to get on camera, but here's one, and of course there's one on the other side. So we'll pull those out, and then this bracket should come right off, which will have this whole thing with it. It's pretty not loose, but easy enough to take out. Doesn't want to come off. Okay, let's just kind of yank this out. Okay, that's cool. It's off. And there's a hole up here that we're going to plug with a bolt. At least I hope we are. There's what's on this side of it. Little gasket. Lots of exhaust. And maybe a little bit of carbon. Okay, we plugged up the hole. The new bolt's all nice and tight. Goes right in there. And now we'll move on to, I guess, the carbon canister. Cool. Oh. Weird. The last one to get, I'm not going to film because you won't be able to see it anyhow. I'll be in front of the camera. But it's back here. It's this last hose and little nozzle thing that you got to take off. Oh, come on. Oh, there it is. Alright, I overexposed it a little bit, but you could see the reeds that we're going to try to get out of the airbox that choke the engine. But first, it's time for a little refreshment. Yeah. A little new juice IPA. Nice. People say you gotta cut around those with a utility knife. I'm not sure. Not sure what's holding it in. We'll find out. Boink. Well, this was the best I could do for a utility knife. Freaking glasses off. Can't see shit when you get old. Well, I'm doing something. you go. Will they come out? Ow. Bastard. Ha. Take that. Almost. Oh, just come the hell on. Oopsies. Hope I didn't break something important. Oh. There you go. Top. Actually, was the side. Oh, I know what they mean. Check that out. It blocks off all the air unless it can create enough vacuum to move these. They look like carbon fiber. Gone. Well, that was the most important part of the desmogging, in my opinion. And I don't know that how much that had to actually do with smog, rather than, I believe they put those in the intake to control noise. I don't notice that it's that much louder. And the last thing you'll want to do is do something about the exhaust. I think that the stock system is pretty good. It does restrict the exhaust at the end. It has that little screen in the end of the muffler. That's not the spark arrestor. The spark arrestor is internal, so you could pop that screen out and it lets it flow. It gives it a little deeper note to the exhaust, and it costs you absolutely nothing. While the bike was that far apart and fairly clean, I decided to check the valves, and they were pretty much perfect. The bike had 30 hours on it, and that's when the manual tells you to check it. But really, I have a feeling it's how I ride. I ride slow, and I like slow single track stuff. And I don't see myself checking them again for quite a while. And the last part, and probably the easiest part, was putting the new ECU in. It was really easy. You just take out the old one, stick the new one in the hole, plug it in, find a place to put the little Wi-Fi module, and that's pretty much it. You could use a little app on your phone to screw with it, which I really don't do that much. It comes with 2 maps built in and a little map switch. And I do find a bit of a difference between them. The mild one, it doesn't come on as strong. The power doesn't come on as strong, and the other one is good. I mean, they're both good. In the woods, I was using the more mild one and some single track stuff. But all in all, it's a good system. I would do it again. I hope this might have helped somebody. If it did, great. If it didn't, well, that's great too. Thanks. Bye.